live in their mom's basement. You don't see them at all. So you really got to realize it's your choice, and that's why you keep running into the same type of guys as other girls, is because y'all all are like, man, he's attractive, or he has money, or whatever it is. Every girl. The Tinder studies show that 95% of girls go up to the 5%, or 90% of women go up to the top 5% of men. So it's like, it's really bad, especially if you're online dating, like super bad. Like, you're all definitely fucking the same guys if you're online dating in any way, shape, or form.
That ain't me.
Yeah, definitely don't be doing
I go
online
out
dating.
too much to find somebody online.
Yeah,
I'll meet you in person.
Hey, but you stay on them clothes, man. I know about you. I'm just kidding.
Excuse me.
I'm just teasing you. If there's something about the dating marketplace that bothers you, what is it?
The dating marketplace?
Yeah, dating, sex, any of it. What bothers you?
Ooh, everything. I don't know. I feel like sometimes men look for therapists and women. They look for someone to like heal them, and that's okay, but that's not why I want to be in a relationship with you.
Yeah, I think that's super unattractive if a guy does that. If he leads with that, that's pretty bad.
Like,
yeah, that's bad.
So you don't want an emotional man?
I'm not saying I don't want an emotional man. I'm just saying, as far as me healing you and, curing you of your childhood traumas, that this is not the place.
Is this something that you've experienced a lot lately, and that's why you're bringing it up?
Yes,
because it's
absolutely.
Like multiple men, it happens?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so what we're already teaching guys, stop being emotional little bitches. We just need to keep saying it is kind of what you're saying.
And I feel so much more aggressive than them when I do that, because it's like I shouldn't.
Because he's not in his masculine role, so you're kind of falling into it. Yeah, no, I think that's a horrible thing too. Yeah, you're right.
And women, they don't want to hear about your fucking problems, fellas. They'll tell you that bullshit, but
they
they're
really
not
don't,
equipped to handle your fucking problems, and that's just gonna dry their shit up real quick.
Yeah.
So keep that shit moving and keep it to yourself. Talk it over with your boys.
Fucking dry coochie energy. What about you? What's something about the dating or sexual marketplace that bothers you?
I'm gonna put it in two perspectives. As far as women, the need to fit the media's image of dating and relationships. That shit irks me.
Yeah.
Like, we not Kim Kardashian, first of all, bitch. We're going to have our relationship, and that's what we're going to have. That's how we're going to move with it. And then for men, like, it's just surprising to me how many men have not taken the time to educate themselves on women's bodies.
Yeah.
How many of us is not getting a nut?
Yeah, so I'll actually help out a little bit in there because it never gets brought up. The thing is that every vagina is different. So the problem for guys is that they'll get used to one girl and they'll be like, okay, this is how it is, and then they go and fuck another girl and like the clit's in a whole different place. It's like this girl likes her G spot, this girl liked her clit before. Like they get so confused because they get so used to like one thing kind of, or they just don't get enough play at all to where they can't even fucking practice enough. So like that's the big issue today. I agree with you though. Like guys do not give a fuck about a woman's biology and they're not even trying to learn it. So you're totally right that needs to get fixed. Hopefully I can help guys in that.
The vagine hang like sleeve of lizard.
All right. What was the first? What was the first thing that you said though before that?
For women?
Yeah. There was something else that you said, but like before the sex thing.
Pay attention to media too much.
Oh, pay attention to media too much.
Women are too busy trying to fit the media's image of relationships and dating.
And and shout out to you on that one because I think that's such a big fucking deal, and everybody needs to hear that 10 times more because it's that big of a deal. For you, what's something about the dating marketplace that bothers you?
I don't know. There's no one that's just really my type.
There's nobody that's really your type.
Yeah, I mean, I like men, but it's just like they're just so weird.
What's your type? Lay it out right now.
I like tall, dark, and handsome.
Period.
And he has to have a fat wallet, loving, respectful.
Okay.
But like they like to lie and they like to do this and do that, and I'm just like, it's not that serious.
It's a little too weird right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Relax.
Yeah, and I agree with you. The dating marketplace is weird as hell. This is why I say the only 10% of people are even probably worth it right now. It's pretty fucked up. If you really want it, you got to really chase it. And what sucks is for women today because the pussy's devalued the market so hard. Like there's so many girls. You could be a great girl that waits 30, 60 days or whatever. Right. But since there's other girls throwing it down on the first night, it's devalued so bad and y'all can't compete because it's just like they ruined the game. Like they fucked the game up for y'all if you're a good girl. Like it's all fucked up. Now I want to know nature versus nurture. Do you think that people are mostly controlled by their nature, by their genetics? Like, do you think that's going to predict their life more, or nurture their environment? Does their environment make you who you are more? We'll start on you this time.
I think their environment.
Do you think the environment's a bigger impact? Okay.
Yeah.
Nature.
You think that, so you think DNA is a bigger impact?
Genetics are
You think that's
more
everything?
overpowering.
Okay.
Then I'm
Then
sorry.
and nature
Nurture.
versus nurture versus like environment. Like either your environment's gonna shape you who you are, or your genetics are gonna shape you who you are.
Genetics, because you'll know when the environment's right for you and when it's wrong for you
Okay.
by your genetics.
Oh, okay.
That's how I feel.
I'm
What?
gonna have to say your environment because how you grew up is how you're gonna act.
Yeah.
You can try to change yourself later in life, but
If you're raised a certain way.
if you're raised a certain way by a certain person or by a certain type of family structure, that's how you're gonna be until
Okay.
you decide that you need to change yourself.
Okay. What do you think?
I say nature.
You think nature? So
Yeah.
genetics?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a hard one. Everybody's really split on this. So it's perfectly fit. When you do the science and the research on this, it's 50-50. Like, obviously, your genetics have a big impact on your life, but there's certain epigenetic effects that can happen because of your environment influencing and causing those things to happen. So definitely it's a mixture of 50-50. And this is a big issue today is like, especially like, say with like the trans debate and stuff like that. There's a lot of people saying, your environment makes you fully who you are. But in reality, there is a genetic chance of certain things happening. There is a 1% chance that somebody could be, a different sex or something like that. It's both. There's definitely a lot of genetic things that happen, but there's definitely a lot in your nature that can happen, and it causes a change in your genetics. There's epigenetic effect is whenever the nature changes your genetics for the future people that come out of you, or if you're gonna make kids or something. I want to know, what do y'all think is the difference between a simp and a provider? We'll start with you on this time.
A simp and a provider. Honestly, I think the biggest underlying issue is a simp doesn't have self love. I think that's pretty much
He doesn't
just-
love himself, and that's why he
Yeah.
does that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a simp can do the exact same thing a provider is doing, but the provider is not doing it because they feel like I have to do this in order to keep this person. I'm just doing it because this is what I genuinely want to do.
He's doing it out of kindness of
Yeah,
their heart
yeah.
more than
Uh,
trying to
Essentially.
get something out of the
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think is the difference between a simp and a provider?
That's hard, but I think that a provider knows his focus. I would say that maybe he grew up in a way that he feels that he's supposed to be the person that's supposed to make the money for the house. Like you said, that's just how he's supposed to feel. But if he's a provider that loves his family, then he's going to provide because of his family.
Yeah.
I think a simp, I hate to say it that way, but like I think a simp is just gonna do it because he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
He got a little bit of money or he got a nice check, so he's gonna be like, "Oh, let me throw you some of this," or
Yeah.
"Let me buy some of this for you." But you're not looking towards a future between us. You're just kind of
Being a simp.
doing it.
Yeah, being extra. What about you?
I think a simp is someone who's obsessed over someone, and so they're willing to throw themselves at their feet.
Go way
to
too
please
far.
them.
Yeah.
But a provider is someone who will make sure that the family's good, we're good.
Kind of take care of himself first.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think the difference between a simp and a provider is?
One comes from a place of masculinity and the other one is feminine.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say the provider comes from a place of masculinity because they mostly do that because that's who they are as a man. That's what makes you a man. And a simp it's because like
Talk a little bit more into it.
and a simp is because like it's kind of feminine. As a woman, we hate to say it, but we do give way too much to men before you should. And those simps, they do that. They give you way
It's
more.
very
than what they should.
feminine. I've never heard it that way, but that was a good answer, honestly. That was a really good answer. What do you think?
The difference would be a simp is like he's like in love with you, like obsessed with you. Provider's like he loves you.
You can tell this guy gets no play because he's trying so fucking hard. Yeah.
Right. And
He's
the
trying to
provider's like
keep
he
you.
love you. He want to do this for you because
Yeah,
it's
that's
'cause who you are.
That's really good. Those were all really good answers, guys. The only thing that I like to say is that the difference between the provider and the simp is the simp will give something, like I was kind of saying earlier, without getting anything in return. But the thing is, a provider, like, I'm not going to show and a provider, he doesn't have to buy anything. He's just going to front with his provision. He's going to say, I have a nice house. I have this car. I am a provider. I'm not going to sit there and buy you anything to prove it. You're just going to see that this is what I am.
Yeah.
And if you come into my life, then if you do something, if you're complimentary to me, if you do something to make my life better, then I will give you something. Then I will buy you gifts. But I don't think that a guy should buy gifts without her doing something first, like whether that's doing the laundry or cooking or just doing something to compliment the man.